What started as a marriage filled with love, family, and public admiration has now become a courtroom drama that has shocked fans, celebrities, and even legal experts. Former NBA player Jackie Christie is suing his wife Jackie Christie and fellow former NBA star Chris Webber for something far more personal and painful than anything he experienced on the basketball court: 20 years of lies about the true father of the child he raised as his own. This isn't just a messy relationship story. It's a real legal case filled with accusations of paternity fraud, emotional harm, financial deception, and falsified records. Doe is no longer staying silent, and now the truth is spilling out for the world to see. Jackie Christie has filed what many are calling one of the most shocking lawsuits in the history of reality television. After decades of presenting themselves as a tight-knit family, Doe is now accusing his wife Jackie and her former flame Chris Webber of tricking him into believing he was the biological father of their daughter, Chantel. But DNA test results show otherwise. Court documents filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court confirmed that Doe is not related to Chantel at all. A second test shows that Chris Webber is the biological father, with a 99.99% match. This evidence has now become the foundation of a lawsuit that could change not only the lives of those involved, but potentially the way the law views paternity fraud across the country. Doe's legal team is going after both Jackie and Chris for paternity fraud, emotional distress, identity misrepresentation, public deception, financial damages. Going back over 20 years, they initially requested $4.6 million in damages, but that amount could rise as more evidence comes forward. For years, Doe stayed quiet. He raised Chantel as his own, supported her, loved her, and treated her no differently than any father would. But now, he says that the trust he placed in Jackie was based on lies. Behind the scenes, she allegedly knew the truth all along, but kept it hidden, building a brand, a reputation, and even a reality TV empire on a false story. Jackie's personal journals, now part of the court evidence, reveal that she was aware of Chris Webber being Chantel's biological father. In one entry, she wrote about hoping the secret would stay buried. Even worse, a voicemail leaked during the case reportedly features Jackie telling Chris to stick with their lie. To make matters more serious, Doe's lawyers discovered that even Jackie's VH1 contract contained false information, listing Chantel as Doe's biological child. That misrepresentation helped her earn appearances, endorsements, and credibility as part of a famous family. Doe's attorneys say all of that money was made through deception. Doe's legal team provided a detailed list of the expenses and emotional losses he suffered over the years: $180,000 in private school tuition, $95,000 towards Chantel's college education, $72,000 in medical bills, $230,000 spent on family vacations, $75,000 in lost income due to false media appearances, $500,000 in damage to his reputation, $1,880,000 for emotional pain and suffering. That brings the total claim to over $4.6 million, with both Jackie and Chris being held equally responsible. If the court agrees, each could owe Doe more than $2 million individually. And that doesn't even include the potential costs of future legal action, especially if new charges are filed. But this lawsuit isn't just about the money. Doe wants the truth made official. He has asked the court to legally change Chantel's birth certificate to list Chris Webber as her real father. He believes it's not about revenge, it's about setting things right. For over 20 years, Doe lived with what he thought was his family. But once he found out the truth, he decided it was time to stop protecting lies and start protecting his peace. His legal team has made it clear that this case is not only for Doe, but for every man who's been unknowingly deceived. Doe's lead attorney said in a press conference, "This is bigger than Mr. Christie. This case could set a new legal precedent. Paternity fraud should come with real consequences, not just emotional ones." When Jackie was served with the lawsuit, reports say she completely broke down. She allegedly fell to the floor in tears and stayed in bed crying for hours. But according to people close to the case, this wasn't the reaction of someone who was confused or blindsided. It was the response of someone watching her world fall apart. Jackie has not only lost credibility, but she's also seeing her public image crumble. Her real estate business has slowed down, her podcast has been canceled, and VH1 has reportedly paused syndication of her reality show due to morality clause violations in her contract. And then there's Chantel, the daughter caught in the middle of this firestorm. Chantel has now taken legal steps of her own. She filed paperwork to legally change her last name, saying the emotional damage of learning the truth has left her shaken. In an upcoming interview, she says, "This isn't just about finding out who my real father is. It's about living in truth. My life was built on a story that wasn't mine." She's also working on a memoir titled Built on Lies: My Life as Someone Else's Daughter, hoping to reclaim her identity and speak her truth. Just days after Doe's lawyers asked Chantel to testify in court, something strange happened. A sealed envelope was reportedly delivered to her apartment by Jackie's assistant. Inside was $15,000 in cash and a handwritten note saying, "You don't have to get dragged into this. Let your parents handle it. I'll take care of you like I always have." Instead of staying quiet, Chantel took photos of the envelope and handed everything over to Doe's legal team. Within hours, Jackie received a cease and desist letter warning her to stop any attempts at witness interference. Soon after, Jackie went live on Instagram in the middle of the night. She looked distressed, spoke vaguely about loyalty, and abruptly ended the stream mid-sentence. Viewers were quick to call her out for trying to manipulate public opinion and potentially tampering with a witness. When the official depositions began, Doe was calm and focused. In a powerful statement, he said, "I spent 20 years protecting Jackie's image. Now I realize I was protecting a lie, not the woman. I chose love over truth and lived with the weight of that decision every day." Jackie, on the other hand, struggled during her deposition. She contradicted her previous statements and said she always had doubts about Doe being the father. One moment during the questioning stood out. "Attorney, did you knowingly list Mr. Christie as Chantel's father on the birth certificate?" "Jackie, I didn't write it down," the nurse asked, "and I just said it." "Attorney, so you told them he was the father without a test?" "Jackie, yes, but I was under a lot of stress. It was a hard time." The court didn't find her explanation convincing. Then Chris Webber finally showed up to testify. Without any media attention or security guards, he quietly entered the room. When asked if he knew there was a chance he was the father, he admitted yes. Jackie wasn't sure. "I didn't say anything to protect her and Doe." But silence can be just as harmful. Doe's lawyer asked directly, "You let another man raise your daughter without ever telling him the truth?" Chris paused, then said, "Yes, and I'll always regret it." That single statement confirmed everything Doe needed to win the case. The judge is still deciding whether to allow cameras in the courtroom, but public interest is already sky high. News outlets are covering every development. Fans, celebrities, and even former NBA teammates are watching closely. Online, support for Doe is growing fast. Hashtags like Justice for Doe and Paternity fraud awareness are trending. Verified users and high-profile figures are applauding Doe for handling the situation with strength and dignity. Meanwhile, Jackie's empire continues to fall. Her reputation, business ventures, and long-standing TV persona are all at risk. Chris Webber, too, is dealing with backlash. A leaked message shows him texting his team, saying, "This is spiraling. I never thought it would go to court. I just wanted it to stay hidden." But the truth can't stay buried forever. Doe is pushing for legally binding financial orders, which would force Jackie and Chris to repay him for every dollar spent over the past 2 decades. There's also a chance Jackie could face criminal charges for bribery if investigators decide to act on the sealed envelope incident. And this may not be the end of the lawsuits. If Doe's lawyers separate the claims, Chris could face his own civil trial. VH1 is also rumored to be considering a major shakeup, possibly ending their connection to the Basketball Wives brand entirely. Through it all, Doe has refused offers for interviews, reality show deals, or documentaries. He told his team, "I didn't ask for the spotlight. But now that I have it, I'll use it to tell the truth not to entertain people. As the courtroom filled for opening statements, reporters packed the hallways. Even former NBA stars and production staff from old shows came to witness what many believe is not just a personal legal battle, but the collapse of a legacy built on lies. Thanks for watching. This story is far from over, and the courtroom drama between Jackie Christie, and Chris Webber is just heating up. What do you think about the paternity fraud and the emotional toll it's taken on everyone involved? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates as this explosive case unfolds. We'll be following every twist and turn, so stay tuned right here for all the latest. Until next time, take care and keep seeking the truth.